Both candidates crisscrossing the battleground states as polls show a dead heat of a race.
The stakes are tremendously high. We could really see some of this change that we've been fighting for now decades. I am 19 years old, and I am a gun violence survivor and gun violence prevention advocate and student. It took me a while to get there, to realize that just saying what happened to me, to share it and use it to hopefully prevent more similar stories.
The possible assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump.
Wednesday morning, authorities say a Georgia teen opened fire, gunning down 2 teachers and 2 students at Appalachian High School.
Former President Donald Trump is safe after shots were fired. The FBI now says it is investigating the incident.
Gunshot victim, gunshot victim!
In Orlando, a gunman seen walking up to a victim, opening fire, sending thousands running for their lives.
This is bigger than a mass shooting problem. It's a gun violence epidemic. If Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, is not safe from gun violence, then nobody is. More people will die from gun violence, not just necessarily over the 4 years, but in the decades to come, because the laws they make or the laws that they don't make, it'll cost people's lives. I think that young people definitely are making their voices heard. Are you going to a meeting? It's hard to break through to the real meetings. Hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Drew.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
It's horrifying that these guns are still legal. So we're hoping that Representative Schneider can co-sponsor the Go Safe Act, which would ban these guns, which are destroying our communities. On July 4th, 2022, I was next in line to walk in the Highland Park Independence Day Parade. And then a few steps in, I heard the sound of 83 rounds of ammunition. 7 people died, 48 more were injured. I texted my parents that I might not be coming home from the 4th of July parade, and my life forever changed.
We have over 43,000 fatal shootings that are caused every year. And every day, it's 120 people are shot and killed by guns.
For the first time since the 2022 shooting, Highland Park holding an Independence Day parade.
For the 15 months after the shooting, I didn't talk about it. You see a lot of survivors experience the mass shooting, and then in the coming days, they're all over the news. But that wasn't me. And then not until I got to school, I was talking with Everytown. They asked me straight up, are you a survivor of gun violence? And I was like, well, technically I was at a mass shooting. And they're like, then yes.
And I know there's a lot of excitement right now, but let's make sure we uplift all of us for our future, but more importantly for our present, to defeat the climate crisis, to end gun violence.
There's so many people in this country that are survivors of gun violence who don't understand that they had survived it.
Hey, how are you? Maxwell. Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Drew. Congressman Frost really is the Gen Z congressman. He's a former activist and organizer, kind of like me.
We are the voices you can't ignore.
Young leaders feel that they have to step up and do something that lawmakers or even adults have failed to do. It doesn't matter if it's Democratic, Republican, gun owners. I talk to so many people, and they're just tired of this.
When I first started running for office, something people would always ask me is well, the March for Our Lives movement, they didn't do much, right? It was a big march and we didn't get the laws. The way you measure the success of a movement is you see the seeds it planted in people. I'm the first person from that movement to be in Congress. That's a win, right?
From Pulse to Parkland, we fight because we love.
And then we got the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. That's a win. Since the vice president has become our nominee, we have seen a new energy amongst young people.
We have 2 gun owners on our ticket.
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away.
The change we're fighting for is not mutually exclusive with the Second Amendment. They can coexist. We can have a country where people are allowed to have guns, and also a country where you don't need to worry about going to school.
We'll finally pass an assault weapons ban, universal background checks, and red flag laws.
If we elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, we will continue on the right path.
When I'm back in the Oval Office, no one will lay a finger on your firearms. It's not going to happen.
Donald Trump has pledged to not take action to try to get rid of the laws that we've already put in place. His running mate, J.D. Vance, called gun violence not a real problem, which doesn't make any sense because it was a real problem at the parade when people were getting shot.
What I tell people is Trump being elected doesn't mean progress will pause. It means progress will be rolled back. If I write a letter and send it to Kamala Harris on something I think she should do on gun violence, and we'll figure it out, if I gave that letter to Trump, he's going to wipe his ass with it.
I want everybody here to do at least one thing every single day to the election to make sure that we win.
There's still a country, and more importantly, our friends and family within the country that are worth fighting for.
We won't go back.